This is the tutorial video of the Ultimate Fantasy Draft Tapper that will help you dominate your fantasy drafts. You might ask why you need the Ultimate Fantasy Draft Tapper at all. Well, the Draft Tapper can be used for draft preparation, for live fantasy drafts, and ultimately it gives you the edge over your competition. To learn more about fantasy drafts, please visit our website at ultimatefantasydrafttapper.com and read Tactics and Advice. So, the Draft Tapper has 5 sheets and I'll show you all one by one. First, the projection sheet. It contains the database that the Draft Tapper works with. These projections are fully customizable, so you can upload other projections, you can enter your own projections, add, remove players, update team and league changes, or edit positional eligibility. We supplied the Draft Tapper with the so-called Wisdom of the Crowds projections, so once you download it and open the Draft Tapper, you will find that the projection sheet is already loaded with that data. And we have other free projections available at our website to download for free. All these projections are customized to fit the projection sheet layout, and you can choose between Yahoo, CBS and ESPN positional eligibility. I show you how to enter those projections fast and easy, so I will upload last season's statistics. First, open the Ultimate Fantasy Draft Tapper, go to the projection sheet, select all but the first row, and hit delete. Now, open the Baseball Projections workbook, select all but the first row. Anywhere in the selection, hit the right mouse button and select copy. Now, go back to the Draft Tapper's projection sheet, go to cell A2 and there, hit the right mouse button and select paste. Then wait for your CPU to finish with the calculations and that's it. Projections are loaded. Now if you want to change anything, you only need to select the cell and rewrite it. And save it when you're finished. For additional information, please read the Ultimate Fantasy Draft Tapper Baseball User Manual. League Setup Sheet. Here you can specify all your league settings. As you can see, the Ultimate Fantasy Draft Tapper gives you a wide range of possibilities to accommodate nearly all league formats. First, select the number of teams from this drop-down list. Your league must contain at least 4 teams, and you can select as much as 20. To enter team names, you only need to rewrite these cells. You can select roster positions by clicking on the cell right below the position definition and select the desired number from the drop-down list. Statistical categories working the same way. If you want to use a category, select yes from the drop-down list and select no if you don't. League Universe. Here you can specify your player's universe. American League only, National League only, and all Major League Baseball. Draft type. You can select 2 types of drafts, auction or snake. We suggest you select auction draft first, even if your league is set for a snake draft. You might ask why, and you'll find detailed explanation in the Ultimate Fantasy Draft Tapper Baseball User Manual. So by selecting auction, you can define team budget, better pitcher budget allocations, and auction information on the draft center sheet will be visible. Next, budget. Here you can define the amount of money can be spent by a team. You only need to enter the number in the cell. Use custom budget percentage. Here you can set up how you want to divide your budget between batters and pitchers. Even the snake draft leaguers might want to consider overriding the optimal budget. And as usual, you will find more detailed explanation in the Ultimate Fantasy Draft Tapper Baseball User Manual. So by selecting yes, a new row will become available right below this selector. And here you can define how you want to use your budget by entering the percentage of your money you want to spend on hitters. So the only thing you have to do is rewrite the cell value. By selecting no, the Draft Tapper will use the optimal budget allocation that you can see right here. It displays the Draft Tapper's calculated optimal allocations and only serves informational purposes. We suggest that snake drafters go back to draft type and select snake now. By choosing the snake option, you will still have a fully operational Draft Tapper, and despite that all budget setup option becomes unavailable, the Draft Tapper will use your custom settings in the player evaluation process. And by selecting snake, part of the budget window in the draft center sheet will disappear, so you won't be bothered by unnecessary information while drafting. Okay, Next is use within pitched cap. While it speaks for itself, essentially changes the values of pitchers according to the limit. Select yes, and another row will appear where you can define your league's innings pitched cap. You enter that number here and that's it. Use positional scarcity. This might be the most controversial and the most interesting option. Experienced players already know what positional scarcity means, and if you're not familiar with the concept, the easiest way to learn about this, just Google it. If you want to use this option, select yes. And then select your team. Now you're finished with your setup, hit the submit button. Calculations and sheet customization can take up to 30-40 seconds depending on the speed of your CPU. In the meantime, let me remind you that we have the best ever draft, tactics and advice put together and made available for you for free at our website, ultimatefantasydrafthelper.com. So I see that in the meantime calculations are completed and sheets are customized. And this is the draft center. This is what you will use during your draft, so you need to familiarize yourself with it. In the top left corner is the budget and standings window where you can follow each team's budget situation and the current roto standings. But let's start with current budget allocation that you can see right here. It displays how your league used the budget so far. This is a very helpful feature for your future drafts if you take notes. Budget display. Dollars left column displays each team's remaining budget. Max bid column displays the exact amount of money that each team can spend on the current player on sale. And to draft column displays the number of players that each team has yet to draft. Remember, in an auction draft, teams usually don't have the same number of players on their rosters while drafting. These three columns will disappear if you choose the snake option, because you obviously don't need these for the snake draft. Standings display. The score column displays each team's current roto score, which is updated with every selection, and rank column displays each team's roto rank, and this is also updated with every selection. And here is the auction center. Obviously some of these columns need an explanation, but first things first. After you finished adjusting on settings on the league setup sheet and or entered new projections, you will notice that players' values have changed and they are not ranked properly. You need to get them into a proper order. To do that, open the sort filter of the column containing the players' rankings. Scroll down to the bottom, uncheck blanks, then select sort smallest to largest. And that's it. It looks good. You got your players in order. As I said, some of the columns need an explanation, so here it is. Rec pos means recommended position. In case of players with multiple positional eligibility, this column displays the player's most useful position calculated by the draft helper. This feature could be very helpful in leagues with separate outfield positions, could help with your preparation in regard of second baseman and shortstops, or if you're not sure where to use a player with first base and outfield eligibility. Pre-draft value displays exactly what it says, dollar values of the players prior to the draft. This is a constant value calculated according to your settings and projections, and it won't change during your draft. On the other hand, in the next column, current value changes with every selection due to the concept of inflation-deflation adjustment. By comparing pre-draft and current value, you will see how players' prices will adjust as the draft goes on, so you can gain some more advantage over your league mates. Sold for. In an auction draft, here you must enter the amount of money spent on the player. In a snake draft, you must enter the player's pre-draft value. Since there is no owner assigned to the player yet, the owner cell will turn red to alert you that an owner is needed. To select an owner, go to the owner column. Select the owner of the player from the drop-down list. Once you select an owner, current value cell will inform you that the player is sold. If you select an owner before you enter the player's price, then sold for cell will turn red to alert you that a dollar value is needed. And on the right, you can see all the player statistics customized to your league statistical settings. And as you can see, after selecting some players, you can already follow budget and standings changes. Now, I'll show you the easiest way how to find players. The key is to narrow down the list of players you're looking at. First, prior to the draft, hide $0 players. You will need them at the start because most of them won't be drafted at all, and you can add them back for the latter part of the draft, and by then you can exclude other players to have a short list to choose from. Early in the draft, to narrow down the list even more, use positional filters to find players. Let's say a shortstop was acquired, and select shortstops only. The list of players will be short enough to be able to find any player fairly quickly. Later in the draft, to narrow down the list even more, you can exclude sold players by using the owners column filter and uncheck all owners. After the player gets drafted, undo filtering and check select all. For more detailed explanation, please read the Ultimate Fantasy Draft Helper Baseball User Manual. Positional view has all the players sorted by position and value. Here you can see the whole player pool, pre-draft and current price, and the players' availability all at once. Already drafted players will turn red, so you can identify available players easily. And on the team statistics sheet, you are able to compare all teams during and after the draft. Team stats are updated instantly with every selection. So this is it. I'm sure that you can see now that the Ultimate Fantasy Draft Helper can be your best friend. But remember, it can be your worst enemy if only your league mates have it. So please visit our website at ultimatefantasydrafthelper.com and download the Ultimate Fantasy Draft Helper free day trial for free. In addition, you can download players' projections for free and read the best ever draft tactics and advice put together by our team. Thank you for listening, and we hope you give us a chance to help you. Have a great season.